I've got a sad story for you today. The other day I attended a funeral. The funeral of a lovely lady who was a great loss to her family. There were many, many people there. She has a very large family and she was very clearly loved. A couple of her grandchildren spoke about the deep and lasting effect that she had had upon their lives. But as I sat and listened to all the stories told about this woman, and as I shared in the celebration of her life that followed her funeral, I came to realise that despite the sadness, there was a lot of joy in the room. People were there to celebrate a life well lived. She will certainly be missed, but she'll be missed because she was a great blessing to those around her. Now that's not my sad story. Because whilst I was sitting in that room, I was also thinking about another funeral that I'd attended several years ago, of a man who had spent his life isolating himself from others simply by means of the demands he was placing on them. Here was a man who would not be missed, a man whose death was, for some, a relief. Now you might ask me, David, how can you say something so dreadful about someone who has died? How can you judge a man so harshly? And my response is to say, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I've completely misread this man's life. I hope there were good reasons for the behaviour that I saw and that other people reported. I hope he's been able to find some peace, some sense of heaven. I think it's very important for us to realise what heaven is. In heaven, the greatest are those who are the least. The happiest are those who wish the greatest happiness to others and the least to themselves. Heaven consists in wishing to be below everyone else, but hell in wishing to be above everyone else. It can never be said that heaven is outside anyone. It is within, because every angel accepts the heaven that is outside in keeping with the heaven that is within. We can see then how mistaken people are who think that getting into heaven is simply a matter of being taken up among the angels, regardless of the quality of their inner life, who believe that heaven is granted merely because of the Lord's mercy. On the contrary, unless heaven is within an individual, nothing of the heaven that is outside flows in and is accepted. You know, attending those two funerals just reminds me of a question I think we all need to ask ourselves. When I die, will anyone mourn my passing? Will they celebrate a life well lived? Or will they simply celebrate the fact that I've gone?